It is November of 2014. A woman cries in the hallway of a Planned Parenthood office. She was hired to serve as an interpreter for the deaf and had just witnessed a late-term abortion. Security removed her to a secluded area of the facility, likely to prevent her from causing distress to other patients. She resigned her position later that day. This woman, dubbed Hope for her safety and security, is a testimony to the societal abomination that is late-term abortion. It is repulsive in physical, ethical, and industrial respects. Judging by the details of Hope's account, the abortion she witnessed was a dilation and evacuation abortion, abbreviated D&E, the predominant method for aborting fetuses in the third and late second trimester. I would relay the account to the people of America, but I understand the reservations some might have towards an anonymous witness. For all we know, Hope could be a pro-life zealot. For this reason, I sought the 1997 testimony of Dr. Leroy Carhart concerning the D&E abortion. When observing his testimony, one must note two qualifications. First, Dr. Carhart was, and still is, a practicing abortionist, that is, a doctor that carries out abortions, making the theory that he himself finds abortions unethical unfounded. Second, since he was testifying in a U.S. District Court, Carhart was under oath, obliged to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. These qualifications place the testimony in a, shall I say, unsettling light. According to Dr. Carhart, a D&E abortion consists of removing the extremities of the fetus via a sulfur clamp inserted through the uterus. If this extremity is a limb, such as an arm or a leg, the abortionist twists it off the body, in a manner similar to how one might twist a chicken wing, before pulling it out of the uterus and setting the limb, complete with a hand or foot, aside. Once the clamp grasps the head of the fetus, the abortionist proceeds to crush it so that it can fit through the cervix. After these extremities are removed, the torso is removed via suction. All this time, it is possible to see the fetus's heartbeat on the nearby ultrasound. It is also important to note that towards the end of the second trimester, an abortion will not always result in the death of an unborn baby. With methods other than D&E, the abortionist kills the fetus via lethal injection and then induces labor to remove it. However, there have been numerous accounts of babies who do not die from the injection and are born alive. Sadly, these children are not offered the same medical care as other infants, but are instead left to die alone, without ever being held or possibly even heard by their mother. Bolder reports describe medical personnel choking the child in order to prevent him from alerting his mother, and drinking champagne in order to forget about the incident. These cases are not isolated. According to the CDC, 362 babies died after surviving an abortion attempt between 2001 and 2010. In the same time period, an estimated 9,188 babies were aborted at 21 or more weeks gestation. There are known examples of babies being born as early as 21 weeks gestation and growing up to lead happy, healthy lives. That means that roughly 4% of babies who undergo a late-term abortion survive the procedure. That statistic is roughly equivalent to the percentage of the world's population with blonde hair. Considering all of the above evidence, it is clear that the practice of abortion is gruesome for the babies involved. However, some would argue that the baby's comfort is not considered during an abortion. Thus, I now turn my attention to late-term abortion from the perspective of the mother. 21 weeks is a long time. America fought an entire war within that time period. If a woman keeps her baby for that long, chances are that she would like to have a child. This begs the question, why then would she want to abort her child? In most of these cases, a complication or other medical emergency threatens the life of the mother and necessitates the termination of the pregnancy. Some find such cases licensed to abort the child well into the third trimester. I therefore surmise that it would surprise them to learn that a termination of a pregnancy does not an abortion make. In such a context, a cesarean section is also a viable way to terminate a pregnancy. In fact, it is often a safer way. In order to perform a late-term abortion such as a D&E, The cervix must be dilated or widened enough to allow the abortionist to insert his Sofer clamp. Using the fastest methods, this process takes about 36 hours. In such medical emergencies, the mother might not have 24 hours, let alone 36. By comparison, a C-section can take as little as 1 hour to complete, and spare the life of the baby in the bargain. Thus, I conclude that late-term abortion is unsavory and unnecessary, if not unethical, and I, as president, will resolve to fight for the lives of all who are threatened by it. My name is Monty Stone. Make me your 45th and a half president on November 4th, 2019.